the crypto-terrestrial thing is something that we've been living with on this planet since recorded history, as far as we know. There have been recorded instances of sightings of interactions with crypto-terrestrials, not just Bigfoot, or Yeti, but all kinds of odd beings, Mothman, for instance, in West Virginia and places like that. So you've got a whole history of that as well, which could be slotted into a general image or a cosmograph of reality in which you start putting these things in. And then as you talked about telepathy, one of the things that we find as a recurrent phenomenon with contactee experiences is that when they are confronted with an alien or whatever it happens to be, the communication is telepathic. They see in images rather than in conversation, rather than in words the way we understand it. They see all kinds of images. This is very important because it goes back to the consciousness aspect once again. They transmit, we receive, because we don't know how to transmit. We haven't been trained to transmit. We are only receiving these messages. Someone's being abducted by an alien, so they get these pictures in their head. Whitley Strieber talks about it. Other contactees have talked about it. All kinds of a flood of images will come through. Some talking about horrible images, the Earth being destroyed, and tempests, and all kinds of things happening, and hurricanes, and all of this. They see the planet being, there's all kinds of negative things, but it's always telepathic. No one's saying, well, on this year or this time, this is going to happen. And with the perfect Michael Rennie accent, sort of mid-Atlantic, not quite, British, not quite American, and coming and telling you, straighten up or fly right. But it's telepathy. We only know how to receive, and it's only if there's a really strong transmitter next to us when it comes to telepathy, right? We've yet to learn how to transmit, and yet we can do both. We just have lost that ability because we've stopped believing in it. We've stopped trying it. We've stopped looking at that because consciousness is not valuable when it comes to this phenomenon, right? That's the general consensus view, is that consciousness is a bullshit kind of thing. And don't confuse the issue with these consciousness things because it's too squishy. It's soft science and it's not even science, let's face it. Yeah. So there's that attitude.
Well, I was going to say, I would say that you can say magicians, right? But you can say maybe consciousness practitioners, or right, even with something like contact modalities, or people that are yogis, right? Those kind of practices and exercises are actually somewhat, I would think, training you in that, in the transmitting aspect, right? You kind of have the yin and the yang. So you have kind of like the Eastern receptive meditation, where you're more of an open receiver, but you also have a very, the East does have it too, but in the West we seem to be very assertive. So we have that kind of like tantric transmission kind of aspect. So I think, maybe even something like contact work, contact modality, CE5, you're actually training that transmission ability, and working with the receptive kind of thing. Right. So I don't think we're completely lost on the transmission aspect.